All right, now we're going live. Brought the Plexus social media guru on to come and talk to us about social media. As most of you know, social media it's almost in every household, and right now Facebook is leading the charge. However, I don't know if you've been noticing, there's lots of other social medias popping up, Twitter, Instagram, and that's why I brought on Vincent to tell us the latest and greatest and all the little quirks and answer our questions that we had. But I will turn it over to him and let him talk to us and give us his expertise. Take over, Vincent.
Thanks, Carl. First of all, thanks for having me on. I'm flattered and honored that you would bring me in to talk to the team.
You bet.
You can hear me okay? Okay, good. Perfect. And definitely let's record this if it's not already. Share it with everybody else that can't make it. There's a lot of information. We'll touch on a lot of things tonight, but there's no way to touch on everything and dive deep into everything. So in the future, if you ever want to do it again, we can certainly do that too. But you have some good resources on your team as well that will that definitely can help out. I know for a fact. So you would send me some of the questions that people had posted, and we can just dive right into those. And I mean, I'll tell you a little bit real quick. I've been with Plexus for about a year and a half, since late February of last year, 2014. And prior to that, I had worked for a couple other companies managing their social media. One of them was a tech company here in Arizona. I was with Facebook for a little bit, about a year, helping small businesses manage their ad campaigns on there. That's really where I learned a lot of stuff and realized that how big social media is and even can be still. It's definitely not. Facebook is not dead. A lot of people say that. It's not going anywhere. I think a lot of people have too much invested in Facebook. They've made a lot of changes over the past even year to 6 months that have not helped you guys. And us as a company, the brand, there's really not any issue. But for ambassadors and you guys in particular, they do make it a little difficult. They're not fans of network marketers, and they're especially not fans of network marketers using their personal profiles to sell things or to share things, to pitch things. They want you guys to do it on your own business page. So that's their view. However, I know a lot of ambassadors have had a lot of success using their personal profiles. So there's kind of a turning point happening right now. We're at a crossroads and have been for the last, say, 6 to 8 months of what Facebook is prepared to do, it seems, where they've suspended people's accounts for certain types of activities. I've gotten those types of phone calls and messages a lot. And unfortunately, there's really nothing you can do. So you just kind of have to be aware of the things that you can and can't do in their eyes. But we'll get to that. So, Carl, some of the questions you had sent me, the first one I have on my list was about, actually not Facebook. It was about Twitter versus Instagram and do they help? So it's a loaded question. It's definitely a loaded question. Let me ask you, Carl, what do you use personally? You use Facebook? You use anything else? What do you use?
I mainly use Facebook and Twitter, or excuse me, Facebook and Instagram. Starting to use Twitter a little more,
okay.
But mainly Facebook and Instagram is my two that I use.
So why do you use Instagram? Let's ask you that.
I like because I can post to Instagram and it'll post it to 4 other social medias at once. I don't have to. I post once and it goes to 4 different social medias.
Okay.
That thing.
So it's a good. Right. No, it's not like that at all. So the thing for you is it's a time saver.
Yeah.
Primarily.
Yeah.
Okay. What types of things do you post to Instagram?
Usually my did you knows, my useless trivia facts, and then a lot of my Plexus posts as well.
Okay. How about anything about you personally or your family?
Yeah, I do that as well. I post pictures of my daughter and pictures of me and pictures of me and Lisa.
Okay.
So
So now here's the big question, right? Have you personally, you may not have even kind of looked at this yet, but it may be a good practice afterwards. What have you noticed which types of posts get better reaction and better engagement with from people?
oh yeah, definitely the ones that I do, the personal, and especially the ones I post videos. Those
Okay.
those are my ones that I get most of my traffic on.
Okay. On the videos, is it more the personal side or is it kind of like talking about Plexus?
More than my personal journey with Plexus, and a lot of times just then when I do my Billy Bob post, I get that one got a lot of hits. Oh,
So that's good. Well, that's good to know. I mean, that would have been my guess, but you never know. Certainly, the more personalized you can make things, the more human you can make your brand. That's what you're going for.
yeah,
All of our ambassadors, all of you guys are your own personal brand. You represent Plexus, but 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you're representing yourself and Plexus. So you just have to be aware of that all the time. And the more you can humanize it, the more you can personalize it, that's usually where you get better engagement. The
yeah.
question was, oh, go ahead.
That's I listened to you on one. I think it was your Periscope that you were talking one night about the jab punch approach.
Yeah. Jab,
Yeah,
jab, jab, right hook. Gary
yeah,
Vaynerchuk, my
that's it.
buddy. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's
Yeah. I'm a big fan of his. I'm a big, he's not for everybody, but he's certainly, he's an entrepreneur, in a different sense. I mean, he's made his living a little bit of a different way, but now he's in the media side and very much into social media. He, to me, he's a real guy. He comes across that way, and I've seen him in person. I'm not like friends with him or anything, but I've seen him and I mean, I know just from even his videos, you can really tell it's not scripted, it's not prepared, it's just him. But
that's
he's not for everybody. I know some people are like, I'm not really into him. That's cool. I'll do my own. I'll follow someone else, which is fine. But for me, he does a lot for me, and I feel like I'm on the same track as him. As far as the Instagram versus Twitter, to me, if it was me, if I was an ambassador and I was, I wouldn't be maybe super tech savvy, or I don't know all the stuff about social media. I would jump on Instagram. Here's why. Instagram is mobile, which is what everybody is right now. Everyone's on mobile. It's visual. It's creative. It's engaging. It's also very open. People are willing to talk to you there. If they can recognize that you're not a spammer, which there's a lot of there right now. It seems like even that's picked up over the last year or so. I get spam all the time on our accounts, on my personal account, on ambassadors' accounts. I see a lot of spam. Other reps or these weird lead generation companies go on and make a weird comment like, "Hey, awesome post! Come check out my site." And it's just like a bot. That's all it is. So once you get past that, though, there's a lot of value on there. There's a lot of potential for reaching people and for connecting through different visuals. And because a lot of people do have their accounts public, it's open to connect. There's some people that have their accounts as private, so you can't directly connect with them right away necessarily. But for the most part, you'll see most people's accounts are private. People that you want to connect with, are public. Sorry, and it's you can connect with them that way. Or if they're private and you really want to connect with them, you can go look them up somewhere else, maybe, like LinkedIn or even Facebook, depending on how private their account is. There, you can usually find someone somewhere else, and I hate to use the word stalk, but it's it's been an element of that, right? I mean, you're trying to find out more information about someone, so it's just not with an evil intent, right? It's with it's all good things, like Olaf says.
yeah.
So, if it was me, I would jump on Instagram. Instagram's huge. Twitter right now, even for me as a marketer, I connect with people on Twitter that are other marketers primarily. And I connect with them, and I'll do Twitter chats, but in the Twitter chats, a lot of it is other people that do social media for a living or marketing, or there's a lot of business people on there too. But Twitter, there's kind of a certain way to go about it on Twitter to do prospecting. There's some different tools you can use, like a Twitter chat, like creating lists on your Twitter profile, and you can make them public or private. I mean, there's all these kind of things that you can do. Twitter is very powerful. The search option on Twitter is amazing, the advanced search, but it does take time, and there's a learning curve. So usually what I say is, if it was me, if I was someone that was just starting out, that wasn't heavily into social media to begin with, everyone's on Facebook, so everyone's going to be on Facebook anyway. But if I was looking to get on another one to try to explore and prospect and meet people and connect and communicate, it would be Instagram rather than, say, Twitter.
Cool. Yeah, I know that I don't use Twitter near the way it's supposed to be used, but it's just something I haven't really messed with too much.
Well, it's not that there's a certain way that it's supposed to be used. People use it for all different reasons and all different things. There's some people that just have a Twitter account and never tweet or anything, and they just use it for their news. They follow a news account and they want to know, because breaking news, guess where it happens first? Really is Twitter.
Yeah,
it's not always the most accurate, but usually the stuff is happening. It's coming out on Twitter first. So it's valuable for some people in that sense. Some other people actually use it specifically to communicate back and forth with their target audience. Like actually almost like text messaging. They'll use it for that.
Gotcha.
Some people use it to broadcast all their own stuff. There's a very famous marketing guy. His name's Seth Godin, and he's written a bunch of books. He's done a TED Talk, if you're familiar with TED Talks at all.
Yeah.
So he's up there, right? He's one of the top marketing minds, basically. And his Twitter account is strictly, if you go on it, it's really not even him. It's like it's automated, and it just tweets out the link to his blog posts every day. So it's just, but he's got like, I don't know how many followers, tens of thousands, if not 1 million followers that follow it for that purpose.
Oh,
so
wow.
You never know. Yeah, you never know. It's tough to say, like, I don't use this particular social media platform the way it's supposed to be used, because really, people are finding new uses for them all the time.
Right.
It's really what works for you. So it's finding what works for you personally. That's not a time suck also. That's worth your time when you're using it for business.
One of the questions might fall into that right here. Jessica had asked about the hashtags. Mm-hmm. That question about are there certain types of hashtags to use to be more catchy, to be more, or what's the proper way to use a hashtag?
So that there's a couple different things. First of all, like Facebook has tried to go the hashtag route, and it really hasn't worked out. They tried to, because they're trying to get their whole news aspect of Facebook going, and I think they thought in the beginning that hashtags would help with that. But really, because they have it listed on the side now, they have these trending topics listed on the side, the hashtags really don't have anything to do with it for the most part. They work in the sense of, if you click on a hashtag in a post, like on the company page, I'll use OnePlexus a lot. I'll say hashtag OnePlexus. It's more so just to group the content together and almost like a branding thing. It's not so much for someone to be like, let me go find all the stuff that is under OnePlexus, because Facebook doesn't group it well. They don't even catch everything, and they don't catch it all in order. I mean, it's just not done really the way you would expect it to, the way it is on like Twitter and Instagram. And to be honest, Instagram right now is the hashtag place. It started on Twitter, but because of the search function on Twitter, where you can go on Twitter and do a search for a keyword or a phrase, and it'll search through tweets even if you don't include a hashtag.
Oh wow.
So yeah, so it's powerful. Facebook's the same thing. Facebook in that white bar on the top, that search bar, you can search for things, and I mean you can search your own posts. They really they bumped that up within the last year or so. I think it was about a year ago actually, where you can do a lot of searching now. I mean, they're trying to compete with Google, but whether that's going to happen, we'll see. It's on their own platform, they're untouched, you know. But once you leave Facebook, it's a little different. As far as the specific hashtags, though, one thing that's good with Instagram is if you do a search. So on Instagram on your phone, there's the toolbar kind of at the bottom when you're in Instagram, and one of the things is a magnifying glass. When you click on the magnifying glass, you can type and search for hashtags. If you type in you start typing in a hashtag, it'll like autofill things. You know, it'll finish the word or finish the hashtag keyword for you until you're finished. And then when you're finished, it'll bring that hashtag up. It'll show you how many posts there have been involving that hashtag. But then it also shows a whole list, and it's usually pretty long, of all the other things that are close to that hashtag is potentially related to. So yeah, so if you want to, for instance, like if you went on Instagram right now and you typed in hashtag plexus, you would come up with, you know, that one would be at the top because it's the exact search result. But then it would also bring up, I mean, it's going to bring up everything else pretty much that has plexus in it as a hashtag, and it'll tell you how many posts there are. So in a way, if you want it to be in a popular hashtag, one plexus, you know, a lot of people have used that, then you'd add that. With Instagram, you can add really almost as many as you want. I mean, you can add 50 hashtags or 30 hashtags, and you know the goal with that is puts your post into that keyword search, that feed for that keyword search of all of those individually. So the more hashtags you put in there, the more it will show up in all these different feeds. And it's kind of accepted that people do that. You know, it's not against protocol to put a ton of hashtags on an Instagram post. It's okay to do that. But the kind of the caveat is that you want to use ones that are applicable to what you're posting about. You know, because if someone's searching for one thing and then they come across your post and it's not related to that whatsoever, more likely than not, they're not going to even bother with it because it's not what they're looking for. It's not what they're interested in. So, you know, try to do things that associate with it. So a good example is I'm a huge sock nerd, right? I love crazy socks. So on Instagram, and on Instagram, I post a lot of my socks when I'm wearing them, or if I get a new pair. And like fashion, like that style is a huge thing on Instagram, humongous. So I'll put in there, I'll make a little comment about the socks, and then I'll say like hashtag sock swag, hashtag sock game, hashtag sockies, hashtag style, hashtag fashion, hashtag men's style. So some of those are very specific. Some of those are extremely general. Like if you go on the hashtag style search, that'll bring up millions of posts. So it's good to include that, but you're also going to get grouped in with all those posts that are happening at the same time. So that's why you'd want to do more than just that one. You'd want to do a few. And what you see, you know, someone like Celeste is very well known, I think, for having her hashtag. She has a hashtag she created, basically just Plexus by Celeste. She uses that on all her posts, definitely on Instagram, here and there on Facebook, but primarily with Instagram. And what that means is if she can send someone, it's almost like a visual, a strictly photo website, like an image website on Instagram. She can send someone and say, hey, go to Instagram and type in hashtag Plexus by Celeste, and guess what comes up? It comes up with like 300 posts that she's made filled with pictures of her and her family and her teammates and convention and leaders retreat. And I mean, it's a whole gallery of Plexus stuff, but not just Plexus like, hey, buy this, blah blah blah. It's her life. It's her Plexus life and how the company has improved it and allowed her to live a certain way, that sort of a thing. So that's a very powerful way to do it.
Cool.
I don't know if that helped. Did that help?
Yeah, that helped a bunch. You want me to move on to a couple of the other ones?
Yeah, jump in.
She was another one that was asked, what are the best social networks for like a small business like ours? What would you kind of went through them a little bit?
So it kind of depends where you're at and what you're trying to accomplish. What I would hesitate to do if I was an ambassador is I really wouldn't jump on all of them just to jump on all of them, just to have something there. It's because it can hurt you in a way. It can make you, if you don't have the right presence on a certain social media site, it can hurt you because someone can see that and say, and it's not completed, it's the profile's not completed, or it's not, the last post was a year ago. That may turn someone off, that they may be like, oh, what's this person doing? This doesn't even make sense. So it kind of depends. It does kind of depend. I mentioned before, if you're just starting out on social media and you've got Facebook, then definitely try your hand at Instagram. That's going to get you the most value, I think, because it's the easiest to use. It's mobile, it's visual, all those things. It's the easiest to probably learn out of everything. I would definitely recommend anyone that hasn't done this already, or even people that do have one, maybe revisit your LinkedIn profile, because LinkedIn is huge on a credibility scale. If someone types your name in Google, your LinkedIn profile, if you have one, is one of the very top things that will come up. So there's a good chance they may click on it if they're trying to do some research about you personally. And again, if they kind of go on there and see, like, you have one job in there from 10 years ago, you never really updated it. I mean, it's you're leaving it up to their discretion, really, to evaluate it no matter what. So you may as well put your best foot forward. Especially if you have a background in, say, nutrition or health and wellness, or you were a nurse before. Stuff like that is not saying that everything else isn't valid, but stuff like that is powerful. If someone sees that and they say, oh, this person left that career to do Plexus, now they're doing it full time. Wow, they must believe in the products. I mean, you know what I mean? So right. It's a huge credibility play. Real quick on that, just make sure you have a nice, clear profile photo that is not, you with the kids, or you on a boat, you out holding a fish, or with some big game, holding up the buckhead. Make it a very, like, a high res photo. It's worth it even to go and get something taken at like a picture store, picture taking place. But really now, with the phones the way they are, if you just you stand in front of a white wall or something, or even make an interesting, a colored black wall, gray wall, whatever, and have like a nice shirt on, that would, the picture will come out relatively clear, and you can use that, and smile. It's okay to smile. It's okay. It's professional, but it's okay to smile and put your best foot forward. And then the profile, just fill it out as best you can with as much information about what you've done in the past and what you're doing now. Talk about yourself, describe it, put in different things that, again, humanize you and really tell the story about you as a professional.
Yeah, I see that Lyndalyn had a question for you.
Yes.
She posted it on the little chat here. She mentions that she'd heard Facebook was reworking notes to be more like a more blog-like. She's wondering if you'd heard anything about that.
Yeah. Oh my God, I love that. It looks like Medium. Anyone that's familiar with Medium, so there's a notes section on Facebook on your profile that has looked literally like a notebook for 10 years. And you could go in and you could like kind of write notes and things. And it was originally, I think, designed to be like a blog space for someone on their profile. But no one ever really used it. So yeah, I think last week they just put something out about that, and I saw it. It looks like there's a blog site out there that you can join for free and start posting blog posts on called Medium. And it's kind of the way things are looking right now visually, but it's very visually appealing. It's not available to everybody yet, though. So typical Facebook, they roll it out and they announce it, but they release it in waves, and it usually only gets down to us like several months later. But that's a good space. The thing with Facebook is that their ultimate goal is, good or bad, is to keep you on Facebook forever. Not let you leave Facebook. That's what they're trying to do, because that's how they make their money. They make all their money, their billions of dollars every year, off of ad revenue. And they get that because of the time spent on the site that you guys all spend on Facebook. However many hours per day you're on Facebook. They throw those stats at advertisers, and they're like, hey, here's where everybody is. And on top of that, you're putting all this information in there. Even if you're not putting information in directly that you realize, what you post about is information that they use and that advertisers can use to target you for ads. In a way, it's actually helpful, because the ads that you generally get, you get them because you either talked about that product, you talked about that topic, something along those lines, or something maybe related to it but not directly. But in any case, that's how Facebook makes their money, is keeping you there. So if they now encourage people to write blog posts on Facebook and they look good and people stay there and read people's blog posts, well, I guarantee you they're going to tie advertising into that down the road as time goes on, and it's just going to be another outlet for them to use for advertisers to spend their money. But in the end, I think it's a positive, to be honest. Don't get me wrong. I'm actually a really big Facebook fan. Having, when I worked there, I saw what it was about. Certainly they're about revenue and making money, but it's actually kind of like you guys, like us, Plexus as the company. I mean, there's a business opportunity aspect, and there's also a kind of a helping people out aspect. Facebook is connecting the world. They kind of got away from that a little bit. There's other platforms that do that better. But at this point, Facebook is about connecting you with your network, which is okay too. I mean, I can't tell you how many people I've talked to. I'm sure you guys are the same way, from high school, or grade school, that ended up talking to from 20 years ago or something. So I view it all as a positive. I know a lot of people don't always feel that way. They feel a little invasion of privacy, but ultimately it is up to each individual to use if they want to use it.
Do you recommend any kind of book, like a Twitter for Dummies or Instagram for Dummies?
That's a good question. I haven't gotten that one yet before on a training call. That's a good one. Whoever asked that one, that's a really good one. There's a lot of so-called experts and people that kind of know what they're talking about. There's also a good deal of people that actually do know what they're talking about. So let's see. Probably for Facebook, one of the kind of tried and true people is a woman named Mari Smith, Mari Smith. And I would stay away from books in general. I would lean more towards going to people's blogs and websites, because that's where you're going to get the most up-to-date information. With social media, I mean, it's just constantly changing. So for an individual, yeah, Mari Smith is good. There's some other people that are more advanced on Facebook, especially with like on the advertising side. Mari Smith is good for Facebook. For Twitter, I mean, there's a lot. Mark Schaefer is a good one. And I can, Carl, why don't we do this? I'll name off a couple more, but remind me. I'll send you a list of sites. The one that, if you really want to get into the social media stuff, probably the top blog is socialmediaexaminer.com. And they have all kinds of guest bloggers that come on for all different topics. And it's not just specifically, here's how to do Facebook, here's how to do Twitter. It's stuff like six. Today I got an email from them that says the new post was six ways to use Periscope for your business.
Oh, cool.
So that's kind of that's the way to go. But it's a daily. They have daily updates. They get really a lot of the top people in the whole industry, and so that's a good one. I'm trying to think. Let's see. What's another good one? I listen to a lot of podcasts too. I don't know if you guys listen to podcasts at all, but I'm a huge podcast listener, and I have some social media ones. There's some good ones. There's one called the Social Media Social Hour with Tyler Anderson. He has some really good guests on, same type of deal, tips. He does like a tech tool of the week sometimes, and it'll be an app or something that will potentially help you.
Cool.
For your bit, yeah. So stuff like that. I'm into kind of all that. I do that stuff a lot. Gary Vaynerchuk. We talked about him. His is a book, that Jab, 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 Right Hook. I mean, that's a book that I would recommend, just because it gives a lot of examples for as far as brands, what brands have done well and what they haven't. Oh, I saw that Social Media Happy Hour with Dawn and Tracy. Yeah, they do. So they do a good job. I just don't listen to them a lot because they're so short. I tend to listen to theirs are like 5 minutes long, probably 5-6 minutes long, maybe 10. I tend to listen to more of the half-hour ones, the hour ones, and I speed it up on one time and I make it go faster. They have, Ronnie. They do. They specialize in network marketing. Their focus is on network marketing. We actually had them. Will Irish? Oh, that's a new one. I haven't heard of Will Irish and Dawn. I'll have to check him out. The two girls, the Dawn and Tracy, we had them on our Twitter chat on Plexus, on our Twitter chat a few months back, on OpChat, and they were answering questions and things. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, they have their whole deal that they do. They're professional consultants for ambassadors like you guys and reps from other companies that kind of pay to get their services, get their consultation, and get their program, that sort of thing. There's a lot of that out there too. There's a lot of that out there to pay for people's services and sign up on how to learn how to do this and that. Some are good, some are great, but it's tough. You kind of have to know who the person is. Do your research first before you sign up for something like that.
Good thinking, Fairs. Well, we've been going a little over 30 minutes. Want to open it up to questions for? Yeah,
I'm game for whatever. Yeah, whatever you want to do.
All right, let me unmute everybody. And well, now hold on. Some of you pretty loud here. You got back noise. There we go. Okay. You have questions for him. Now's your time to speak up.
I have a question. So on Instagram, I'm just going to be honest. Most of my followers and the people that I follow are my kids' age. So they don't really want to hear about
Mm-hmm.
Plexus. So I find myself not posting about
Right.
Plexus on Instagram. How do I expand that, you know, group to, you know what I'm saying? To
Yep.
reach out to, because it doesn't seem a lot of my peers have yet conquered Instagram. You know what I mean? They haven't gone there. So
Okay. Yeah. No. Great question. So, the first thing I would say is if they're not if you don't feel like your friends are there, then don't try to reach them. If you're trying to just kind of expand in general, that the hashtags, that's where those would come into play. So that's where you would start using, use hashtags, things like hashtag weight loss, hashtag health, hashtag opportunity, hashtag entrepreneur, WAM, WAHM, work at home mom.
that's
Um,
good.
yeah, and also don't expect when you start doing it that the next day you're gonna have 1,000 new ambassadors. But I know not that you would, Beverly, but a lot of people kind of go into it and they're like, oh, this thing is, this platform is so huge, and I'm gonna get so much business, and it is kind of you may get some low hanging fruit to start with, but it is a long play. It's not something where or slow play. It's not something where you're just gonna jump on and just boom.
Right.
It may have been like that in the past with Facebook for some people, I know, but in general, it's about, the whole thing is about connecting with people and building up relationships and in an authentic way. So it is a little tricky. It's not easy to say. It's easy to say, okay, I'm going to be authentic and I'm going to be real and let's go. But then it's, as you're going, it's hard to do that. It's hard to stop yourself from pitching Plexus to people that, like, they jump on, they say, oh, I like that picture right away.
Right.
Even if it's a Plexus picture, oh, I love that. That's an awesome picture, and somehow it ties into Plexus. It's hard to hold back and just not jump on them and be like, oh yeah, we sell Plexus and this is how it's done this for me, and it's awesome, and it's hard to contain that enthusiasm. And I totally get that, but I promise it's more worth it in the end if you don't approach it like that. You just approach these platforms as though you're not selling anything and you're not pitching anything, and the time will come to interact on the Plexus level. I can't tell you how many times. So we have the silver stars that come in on a monthly basis to home office, and for the most part, we go to lunch, and I'll go to lunch with them and hang out, and I kind of try to find out their social media story, right? And some of them have really, they connected in other ways. They didn't connect through Plexus. The best example was, I don't know if do you guys know Shannon McComber? She's a relatively new Emerald, but her and some of the other ones, so they were Silver Stars. They won Silver Star. They came for the trip back in, I think, November. And her and her friend that she brought, and also one of the other ambassadors that came that won the trip, they actually met through, they all had adopted Guatemalan children. And they met through that. And two of them had even met because of Shannon's blog she was blogging at that time about that. And this is a couple of years ago, but at the time she was writing about it and what it was like. And they found each other that way through whatever community or meetup or group, whatever. And then after a while, she was like, oh, well, I'm trying this Plexus thing. And they started talking about it. So it's kind of that natural conversation. And it's hard. I know it's hard. But that's the best ones, it seems. That's where it comes from. Someone like Celeste. A lot of Celeste's team, her immediate team, are her sisters from her sorority back in college. And a lot of them are Jules now. And that's how they built their team. And it's because of that already existing connection, and then Plexus happened.
Yeah. Well, see, I just find myself, like I said, I have Instagram and I have Twitter, and I follow you, and I do, I like go to your op chat. I do, but I'm not real comfortable with Twitter and Instagram. Basically, I have them to creep on my children. Okay.
I hear you.
But I feel like I can share my heart on Facebook, if that makes any sense. I don't know why.
Yep.
I think it's just me.
That's everybody. I think that's everybody, because Facebook is the one you've been on the longest, and it's the one where all your friends are.
Yeah.
Your friends and your family are all there.
I mean, I feel like if I post anything on Instagram or Twitter, it's just, a photo of, I don't know. I don't know.
Well, it's fun. Treat it like fun. Treat it like you're not even thinking about, it's not something you're trying to get business doing. It's,
okay.
You'll see, it's real time. It's real time. Even the graphics and things, maybe stay away from doing those for a while and just do, you're out, you're in the park and the sun's setting and, oh, that's an awesome sunset. I'm gonna post that. And then like Carl was saying, it gives you the ability to tie it to your Facebook and Twitter and also like Flickr and Tumblr, right?
Yeah.
But Facebook, if you upload it from there to Facebook, well, now people on Facebook are seeing that you have an Instagram account if they didn't know that already, and they may click over there to go and check out your account. So you're building, that's where you're building that. And don't be afraid to throw it out on Facebook that here's the link to my Instagram. Who else is on Instagram? Follow me. I'll follow. It's okay to promote it like that. Just don't do it every day. But do it. Yeah, throw it out there. I mean, you want your friends to join you. I bet you there's more people than you think that
I think
that are
so.
on there. Yeah.
So.
Or you can search for them too. You can just search by their name.
Right. And I've done that. One last question. On LinkedIn, I initially, hold on. They know me all too well. I had an ex-boyfriend.
Yeah.
I got my LinkedIn. This ex-boyfriend started sending me messages. I'm like, okay, scared me to death. I don't want anything to do with you. You're married. You've moved on. So I have not been on LinkedIn since. So I don't know if I can block him. Like, I'm scared to get back.
Yes, you can. I mean, the majority, if not all of them, the majority give you the ability to block people.
Okay.
So don't be afraid of that. And there is also a level of a trade-off too, where there's going to be people that find you maybe that you didn't want to, but you can block them. I think that happens to all of us. I've had some stuff like that happen. That I wasn't too fond of someone seeing my profile or whatever, or reaching out to me. But you don't have to respond, and you can block them and keep them from looking at your profile, stuff like that.
Okay. I'll have to figure out how to go do that. But he was asking me questions and I was just like, no, I said, forget LinkedIn. I'm not doing it anymore.
Well, see, the thing is that you have your profile though. It's still up there.
I know it is, but I never go go. Yeah, ever.
So it's there. So if someone looks up your name, it'll come up. And if if you haven't updated a job position, let's say, or your career to say Plexus, well, now they're going to go there and say, well, she said she's been with Plexus for however long, and on LinkedIn, on her career listing, it doesn't even mention it. So why is that? It's stuff like that. So even if it's just to go on and update it and make it look nice, just go and do that. We call it set it and forget it. Something like that is, it's better if you can go on LinkedIn and actually use it on a regular basis and engage people and post things. But that one, out of all of them, really, aside from like Google Plus at this point, I would stay away, maybe kind of stay away from after you set it up.
Okay. I'm sorry for taking so much time, guys. Okay, y'all go.
Yeah, that's okay.
Well, can I ask a question to piggyback Beverly's?
Yeah.
Okay, well, one, I've been Beverly's friend for I don't know how long, and I'm not even her Instagram friend.
Oh.
Yes, I follow you.
I know, I'll follow you, though.
Follow me.
On the privacy aspect, is and this is something I've struggled with ever since I've been on Facebook, only because I'm a single mom and live by myself. Do you open your Facebook page public?
So personally, I do, but it's totally up to you. You can also do different settings.
Mm-hmm.
That you can do different settings, and then you can also choose every time you post something.
Mm-hmm.
You can choose how you want it to be seen. You can control if it just goes to all your friends, if it goes to a certain group of friends. You can send it to just one person in particular if you want. It kind of depends on what your goal is with your post. You know, if it's just a, hey, here's my kids and all that. I mean, you send it to your friends. Don't send it to public. And then also include a setting. There's a setting on there that allows you to view, and it makes it so that you have to approve if anyone tags you in a post.
Yeah, I got that.
Yeah, so I use that. Like my thing is public, and anybody can tag me in anything, but it won't appear on my timeline unless I approve it.
Well, and I guess what I was worried, and I have that. I have the privacy setting of the tagging in the photos, but I guess what I was worried about, and I do that, certain things where if it's Plexus, I put it public. But then I was told that if you go on my page, it looks all Plexus and people lose interest. Like
that could be true. Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, because it's not posting publicly to your page, to your profile, I should say, to your timeline. Yeah, so if I'm not your friend and I go to your timeline, all I see is the public posts.
Mm-hmm.
Which, if those are all the Plexus ones, well then it's going to look like a Plexus free for all. And you know, if some people want that, you know, that it's okay. If you don't want that, then that would be the trade off. You know, you'd be posting them public. Now, it's kind of you have to weigh it for yourself. You know, everyone's different. It's if you're nervous about posting pictures of your kids publicly, and you know it's a concern for you, then don't do it. Don't do it. And I have talked to a lot of ambassadors that feel that way, and I totally get that. And the workaround for that, Lisa, would be just maybe don't do more posts that revolve around you and what you're doing, rather than just the kids. Keep that to your friends in private, but the stuff that you're doing, do more around you that you're good with being public.
Well, and I guess my concern, well, not even my concern, I guess the reality of it is, and my kids are teenagers. Gosh knows I can't even stop them from what they post right now. So they're all over Facebook. So if they want to come get me and my kids, I'm pretty sure it's going to be easy right now. I mean, is Facebook really even that private anymore? I mean, if someone really...
I don't think it's... So I'm biased, right? I mean, I do social media for a living. I'm of the belief that really, were there issues before social media was around? There were, with stuff like that, but has social media helped augment it? Probably, because it makes it a little bit easier. But honestly, it's more Google. It's like you can Google search and find things. It doesn't even have to be. I mean, there's sites out there that track. It shows where you are. If you want to pay money, if I go to like Spokio, let's say, or peoplesearch.com, like I can pay $50 and see all the people named Lisa Mabry in the United States and with all their addresses and everything. You know, all that information is out there. So it's scary, but you know, the Facebook thing, it makes it a little bit easier, I guess. You know, the one you always hear is, well, I never post when I'm on vacation, because then people know I'm not in my house, and they can break in and it's open. And I mean, I get it, and it's kind of each personal situation. Like, how comfortable do you feel? And you know, in my case, I have a 90-pound dog that is, if someone comes over here and tries to break in, there's probably going to be some issues. You know, they're not going to enjoy it, and it's, you know, I don't know what they would really take anyway. I don't. The TV, go for it. It's decent. It's a couple of years old, but go for it. Like, you know, so in my personal situation, like I'm like, whatever, you know. But I totally get, you know, the kind of the fear of the privacy and all that type of thing. So just really in your personal situation, try to evaluate like where you are and what you're comfortable with. Because actually, I'll be honest with you, the other things are way worse, way more public than Facebook is for the most part. Especially, it sounds like with your profile, you know, it's
Well,
all out
and I
there
also realized they could go on the property appraiser site and go look up my name and find my address. I don't think Facebook is protecting me at all.
Right. There's all kinds of stuff out there, and the fact that your kids are teenagers too. My daughter she's 14, and yeah, she's all over Facebook, and I know she's on Instagram, and you know she's not on Snapchat yet. I'm on Snapchat. You know she's you know texting and doing all this stuff. She's got a smartphone, and that's just the world we live in at this point. My other daughter's almost 2. She's not going to know a world without this stuff at all. I mean, she's going to have all of it from the time she's born. She already plays on my iPad and like swipes and presses buttons and knows how to get to YouTube Kids, you know? So, but I didn't teach her that. I just kind of handed it to her, and she's like, she sees me doing it. So, it's out there, you know, it's just another thing to kind of be aware of, I think.
Cool. Anybody else?
I actually asked in the chat, but you may not have seen it.
I missed it, yeah.
I have a LinkedIn profile. I created it, and I haven't looked at it for 3 years. So can I share that profile via Facebook or Instagram, and people be able to find it once they're on LinkedIn? Like,
oh, yeah.
Like you said, you did the Instagram? Okay.
Absolutely. There's a lot of different ways to do it. Obviously, update it first, right? And then after you update it, you can just there's a way to customize the link for LinkedIn, so you can make it linkedin.com/ you know, your name or some version of your name, so it's easily identifiable. And then you just take the whole URL, take the whole link, and I mean you can just put it in a post on Facebook and say, hey, you guys, whoever else is on LinkedIn, I'm there. Let's connect on there. Or, you know, if you want to do, say, on Instagram, you can, on Instagram, there's one spot where you can put a clickable website, and it's on your profile. If you're going to edit your profile, you can, or edit website, you can pop the link in there if you want to use LinkedIn as kind of the place that you want people to go to find you. Now, for that one, I don't know that I would personally do that if I was an ambassador, because I think there's other links that I would rather have in there for someone to go and click on just from happening to see me on Instagram. I would send them to somewhere different, like my Facebook page, my business page, for example.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
You're awesome.
Sure.
You are awesome.
Let me look through these other questions. I think you basically answered.
Did we get them all?
You kind of hit about every one of them anyway. Let me look real quick.
The Twitter party one, do you think that was that about a Twitter chat? Is that more?
That was me.
Yeah.
That was me.
Yes. Were you thinking more like Twitter chats?
I don't know. You know, and Twitter is my, you know, Achilles heel. I really don't know or understand. I have a lot more to say than 150 characters most times. So, you know, at one point, Twitter parties were like the cool thing to do when new products were coming out or something like. And this probably was 2-3
years
decades ago.
Decades.
And social media, right? So is like the op chat that you do, is that kind of similar to that?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's kind of what it evolved into, because the Twitter parties, from what I remember, were more like, hey, let's all get on Twitter at this specific time and use a hashtag, and we'll all tweet around that hashtag. And a Twitter chat, that's essentially what it is. It's just that it's, for the most part, they're more organized in the sense of they have like a theme, you know, like ours. So ours is op chat, OPP chat, and that stands for like opportunity, business opportunity. And the goal with that is not necessarily to talk Plexus all the time. It's to talk about the industry or social media and using it in your business and all that type of stuff. Because I want to get, my goal with that is to get other people to come into it that are not ambassadors and still like they'll get exposed to the company and to ambassadors because they'll be interacting with us directly. And they'll click on our profile. They'll click on your profile if you're in there. They'll click on and kind of look around and see who else is in there. But if it's interesting enough, all different kinds of people participate. And it's a nice little way to build up a weekly little gathering on Twitter for people to just chat about a topic. Usually we'll have specific Q&A. We'll have questions listed that I send, or when we have a guest on, I'll send the guest the questions ahead of time, and so that they can prepare, at least have some idea. And that's typically what a lot of the more organized ones do. Let's see, I'm trying to think where a list. There's a couple places you can go to find a list of them. I have a friend, his name is Brian Fanzo. He's all over stuff right now with the live streaming, and he's always been big with Twitter. But he put together this list of like 40 Twitter chats, I want to say like a year and a half ago. And a lot of them are still, for the most part, still going. So if you look up his name, Brian Fanzo, Fanzo, and then, 40 Twitter chats or something like that. Google that, and the post will come up. It's definitely, it's one of the more popular posts out there actually about it. And it lists a lot, and there's different topics, different industries covered. That being said, our one this Friday is going to be our monthly millennial focused one, where what I do is I let Chloe Kasich, I don't know if you guys know Chloe, but she's 19. She just started college, and I want to say she's a senior gold right now. But she's all into it. She just started at the University of Arkansas, and she had been doing the Twitter chats the whole time. And for the millennial one, I thought it'd be a good idea to have a monthly focus on millennials, because we have this growing group of millennials in the company and in Plexus. And so she hosts it, and then we bring on another guest as kind of the person answering the questions. Last month it was Emily Roberts, who's Sapphire now. She's a millennial. And then this Friday we'll have Sarah Foreman. You guys, if you don't know Sarah, I mean, her testimonial has been out there for a while. It's really, really strong stuff. But she's doing really well, and she's going to be the guest. So the thing is, we're going to last week we did the first one of these Twitter chats. I'm switching it, I think, over to that Blab platform. So yeah, it's going to be, if you just want to watch it, you can watch. If you want to comment, you can comment. I'm going to try to bring some other people in. Like if you're watching, you can come in and like ask questions maybe. But it's a video/audio platform. It's like this. It's almost exactly like this in a way, except there's only 4 squares, and it's people talking, and it's really interactive, engaging, but you can just watch if you just want to watch and listen and all that. So it's a good format. It's a good platform for that format. But it's at 2 p.m. on Friday. Well, actually, it's not at 2 p.m. on Friday this week. It's going to be later. I'll update you guys with the time and everything. Just you can, if you pay attention on social, and we'll probably email blast it out too, I think. So if you can, jump in.
Cool. Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you.
Well, alrighty. Does anybody else have anything for Vincent?
Did you all get your shirts yet?
Not yet.
Get your shirts. I got mine. It's pink and black.
I saw
Are
that.
they true to size? We're all waiting to hear this.
I mean, I'm a bad
That's a
judge of
no.
that.
That's a no.
I'm a guy. I have no idea. I wear a t-shirt, I throw it on. I don't know. I also haven't washed it yet. I don't know.
So we're not going to ask you if it's form-fitting.
Yeah.
Well, there's a woman's cut, which is different than the guys, and I think they purposely did that for that purpose. So
Thank you.
Did your
Yeah.
wife get one?
Not yet. Not yet.
Okay.
I just got mine. Mine just came in.
How long did they take to ship?
Well, we had over the weekend there was one of the colors. We had an issue with one of the colors, so it was on. We had to back order it or something. So, but those have all gone out now. But we didn't see that coming. There was an issue from the company, I guess, that made them.
What color was it?
I don't know.
We ordered.
I don't even know.
Probably not.
It was probably something. Yeah, something common.
Scarlet and gray.
But yeah, keep your eyes on the emails and on the social media posts, because we're gonna do something with that, with hashtag Team Plexus starting this week.
Awesome.
Very good.
It'll be fun.
Well, thank you very much, sir, for coming on and indulging us with your expertise and your guru-ness.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. And don't remind me to send you that list, Carl, if I forget.
I will. I'll get the list from you and I'll post it on our team pages. And
Okay.
That was an excellent session.
Yeah.
So much.
Woo! You guys like the tree in the back? You like the tree?
I was looking at that. That's awesome. I have a grandson coming in 2 weeks, and my son painted a tree on the wall for him, and I was looking at yours. That's pretty cool.
I'm in my 14-year-old's room. She painted the wall. I don't know if you can see. It's a typical 14-year-old room. There's it's a mess.
And do you see mine in back? I got trees in back of me too.
There you go. Yeah, that's what I have in the baby's room. That's the one with the leaves that kind of pop out on the wall.
This is in my living room.
Yeah, we put that in the baby's nursery. That's so funny.
Is anyone else wondering why he's in the 14-year-old's room?
I'm not going to ask.
Quietest room in the house.
This was the quietest room until they left to go to the store. That's why.
Yeah.
He's out shopping.
Well, let me stop recording real quick before we say something incriminating on here. Just kidding. All right, here, I'm going to stop recording.